In 2018, you could take a Bengal win to the bank week in, week out. Now undefeated Blaine gives that phrase a whole new meaning. For the second time ever, the Bengals invade the home of the Vikings with just a legendary high school football program between them and the title game. Bengals look for 12-0 and the ship now on North Metro TV. A 20-1 combined record between the first two teams to square off in the 6A state football tournament for 2018. The Blaine Bengals carrying 11 of those wins into their back pocket here to US Bank Stadium to take on the 9-1 Eden Prairie Eagles. J.W. Cox alongside John Haddon, our entire North Metro TV crew coming south to the bank. And yeah, here we are. Great vantage point for a great football game, John. We've been impressed by the Bengals all year. No reason to believe that's going to change here no matter the opponent.
Nobody's beat them, but this is an opponent like they haven't seen before. They have won the battle in the trenches week in and week out on both sides of the ball. That's going to be tougher to do tonight against Eden Prairie.
It has not been a tournament fraught with upsets, John. There have been 6 so far in the entirety of the bracket, most of those involving 3 seeds over 2, which we got twice here in this bracket we're dealing with. Minnetonka a 3, Eastview a 3, but the number 1 seeds prevailing to this point for Eden Prairie and Blaine, a matchup that on paper went by the chalk.
Absolutely, and it's not a surprise. We were at the Blaine games, so we know why they won those games. Eden Prairie really had to eke it out against Minnetonka last week to make it here to the semifinals after rolling big against Mounds View. So this side of the bracket, no, not a lot of drama in terms of upsets. The other side of the bracket had a little bit more. Lakeville South doing the number 6 seed proud.
Exactly. Talking about 6 total upsets, 3 of those belong to the Lakeville South Cougars at this point, and at 6-5 after starting 0-5, they have a task on their hand tomorrow taking on Lakeville North. These defenses have a big task on their hands tonight, taking on both of these quarterbacks. And, well, it's going to start with Jack the Bengals, a guy who has led this offense at a tremendous clip all year long. All year long.
There's only 1 game so far this season that he didn't score a touchdown for the Bengals. So he can run it a little bit. He throws it a lot of multi-touchdown games through the air for Jack Herring.
Cole Kramer, maybe the best passing quarterback that Mike Grant has had to work with so far, and his numbers bear that out too.
Especially the completion percentage. He finds his guys and he hits them last week 8 of 10 through the air.
Bengals, though, have some guys that want to get into the backfield and stop Kramer, namely a big one who wears 99 on his helmet and 70 on his jersey. That's Lucas Becker right there because he ripped his jersey a couple of weeks ago. And the guy that can follow him in to make plays, Hunter Haig. A little smaller, but just as crafty and just as disruptive.
How could we not go with these two guys after the first half they had of the snow last Thursday? Lucas Becker blowing everything up in the backfield. He's big, but he's got great speed, and Haig seems to be everywhere. He can drop back a little bit, he rushes, he gets to the edges. Hunter Haig is a do-anything kind of linebacker.
Back in August, it was new names taking over in spots for Eden Prairie. Quentin Matsui kind of epitomized what Coach Grant wanted to see with his defense, and that's speed. Number 1 can fly all over the field. He's not the only one, but he's a guy that certainly has that quick twitch that can give offenses trouble.
Oh, so often he's the first guy to the play, and we talk about this all the time. Either he slows things down so that everyone else can come in and support, or he makes the play himself. He's a captain, he's a leader, and he's number 1 for this team for a reason.
Now, he's number 1. He'll have to look for number 9, the tailback in the backfield. And with more on the main ball carrier for the Bengals, we go downfield level to Rick Palermo.
Last week, the weather was so crazy, Mother Nature didn't even want passing game to happen last week for the Blaine Bengals. So the coaching staff said, all right, we're not going to pass the ball. We got Will Fredrickson. They handed him the ball 32 times last week, the most he's touched it all season long, and he rewarded them. He rushed for his most yards in a single game with 132 yards last week. He's only rushed for over 100 yards. That would be the 3rd time he's done it. This postseason, he's been really good, averaging 99 yards per game. And for an offense that averages close to 400 yards per game, 25% comes from your running back, Will Fredrickson. He's going to be a workhorse today, but with, No snow coming inside the U.S. Bank Stadium today. Look for less than 32 carries out of Will, but still, he's going to have a good day on the ground.
Eden Prairie won the toss, deferred their choice to the second half, so the Bengals will start with the football. We're underway with a squib kick rolling its way down. Bengals better get on top of that or let it go out of bounds, and it does. So I was freaked out. Peyton Downey wasn't freaked out, and he let it go across the line, and it will be a penalty on Eden Prairie and give the Bengals great starting field position here to open up this 6A semifinal game. Trying to get off the field for a second straight time against Eden Prairie here in the half. High set, Kruger dots it. Izumi's inside. They want to give it to Kruger. No, they fake it. Minsa pursuing Kramer down the field. He's got a man, and it's complete for a first down. Who else but Dejan Wolf at the 44 of the Bengals.
If Wolf isn't open, I think Mensa tracks him down before he gets to the sidelines. But Wolf found the space coming back to the ball and in front of the sticks. Really nice route there.
Mensa hot pursuit to the side where the play went.
And I get why he doesn't dive right away, but he might have had a chance if he just goes airborne as soon as he knows the ball's in the QB's hands.
1st and 10. Wide open for Kruger to the left. He made a couple of men miss. Now he's got an angle and a blocker in Wolf. Hesitates and he's in, and there's the second score put on by Eden Prairie. It comes with 5 minutes to go in the third for Kevin Kruger.
Devastating. I mean, both Blaine players trying to sell out at the end of the field to try and make a stop. They both blow right by, but at that point, it probably matters little.
Nick Kruger, made that one cut, then that one there to get DJ Gurley on skates.
You got a guy who's playing with a bad ankle after suffering an injury in the first quarter, and he's alone on that side of the field. Once something goes wrong, there's no one to help.
Connor Reynolds' extra point with Bengals flying in is up and good, and it makes it a 14-0 Eden Prairie lead. We talked about it coming back, John. You leave the door open long enough, and at some point, the Eagles are going to crash through, and it was likely going to look like this. A little power run to the left. Plenty of yards open after the line of scrimmage for Kruger, and it's 14-0.
Well, it was a lot like the Hartle run early in this half. Kind of break to the left side, then there's a lot of space out there. Like I said, the field's not bigger, but it's played bigger today for these two teams in the way that the offenses have had space to work with.
6 carries, 2 of them into the end zone. And a good average for Nick Kruger, too. Eden Prairie in command right here. Trying to go back to the title game. And trying to pick up their 14th trip there and their 12th championship. Bengals with something to say about it. This kickoff goes short. Bengals have to do some work to even fall on it and keep it away from the Eagles again. Did they? They did not. It's Eagles football. It pinballs off some Bengals, and when it rains Eden Prairie, it pours Eden Prairie. And the Eagles with the ball moving in at the Bengal 30-yard line.
That's exactly what they want to have happen on those kinds of plays. They don't think they're going to beat you downfield straight, but they want it to ping pong off or pinball off of players, and that's exactly what it did. It bounced. Nobody could settle on it clean.
Bengals couldn't recover. Now the defense in an impossible spot. Down 2 scores at the 28-yard line. 1st and 10. A run to the right. Kruger again winding through traffic, has a first down. Draws a crowd inside the 15. And the Bengals certainly up against it here with less than 5 minutes to go here in this third quarter as Williams is slow to get up.
I think he was the first man there, and for the first time tonight that he's been involved in a tackle that didn't look like a dominant performance. I'm not sure if that was the angle or if the defense is starting to feel worn down. 1 by this Eden Prairie offense, but 2 by not seeing any points on the scoreboard for their team.
Simple I formation. Kramer's going to throw, and it's through the hands of Wolf. Is that backwards? They say no, it's incomplete. DJ Gurley was there. That would have been huge. But an incompletion along the line of scrimmage, and it's 2nd down and 10. Also pauses the clock with 4:20 to go. It looks pretty backwards.
It looks a little backwards.
Certainly from the line of scrimmage, and then of course the quarterback dropping back there. So that might have been a miss. 2nd and 10. Kruger in traffic, pushed backwards and tumbled over. He'll get forward progress back inside the 15 where he finished up. It's going to be a 3rd down and 8 coming up.
It's tough. I mean, they're going to probably see video at some point, and they'll be looking to see that that ball was probably backwards. Still, can the defense hold?
At least force a 4th down decision. Fake it. Kramer keeps. Hit as he dumps it off to Izumi. And he's inside the 10. Can't get the 1st down, but it's a more manageable 4th down. It'll be 4th and about 5. And an official's timeout. Bengals slow to get off the field. And it's Tony Strand. He's able to walk his way out. Aaron Hamby got a pick this year. He'll come in Strand's spot. Clock spinning, under 3.5 to go. Chris Logan trying to fire up his team. And now Eden Prairie is going to take a timeout at the end of the play clock. Discuss everything with the offense as they let it soak down to 3:06 remaining here in this 3rd. This is big right here, obviously,
it's
John.
huge.
If they go for it, don't try to take any points, which they've never been much of a kicking team. We've got them for 6 field goal attempts on the entirety of the season. It's 4th down. They call it officially 4th and 4. But if you get the stop, you're at least no worse for wear after that kickoff debacle, and you've still got more than a quarter to go.
Yeah, for Eden Prairie, they want possession so they can burn clock. So I could see them going for it just even with that mindset now. And it seems like a long ways out because people think in NFL terms, but the 4th quarter goes fast in high school football. We've only got 3 minutes left in this 2nd quarter. To see a team up by 2 scores and to see Blaine struggle the way that they have, if you're Eden Prairie, even just one more play burns a little bit more clock. And if you can get the 1st down, then you've got an opportunity to do it again. Eden Prairie's starting to break off big runs in this 2nd half. That's the other factor to keep in mind. Their run blocking is superior so far in the 2nd half to what we saw in the 1st half.
Yeah, 4th and 4. They like their chances to be able to pick that up with the big beef they're bringing in right now. Penn's on the left. They also bring in a defensive end. And Justice Sullivan upset as a fullback. They'll give it to Penn. Penn rolling to the right side. He needs to get inside the 5, and he's going to do it. Turning for the pylon, and it's a touchdown on 4th down for Eden Prairie. Strung out just enough for Colin Penn.
And you got DJ Gurley trying to make the play at the end. Bad ankle, bad angle, and it's an easy score in the end once you clear out that right side from everyone except for Gurley. Good block on Mensah to make sure he can't get there.
So the kickoff that turns into an onside following the 2nd Eden Prairie touchdown gives them touchdowns on back-to-back possessions. As on 4th and 4, the senior takes it in from 9 yards out. 3rd extra point try for Connor Reynolds. This one's blocked by the Bengals. That's a dead ball. Peyton Downey finally gets in there and gets one. So it's still a 3-score game, but that's now just 3 touchdowns and 3 extra points to potentially win it if this offense can think about miracle time and a well-designed, well-executed play for the touchdown.
The Bengals have given up 21 points once this season. So the defense is still doing what you would expect against a very good Eden Prairie team. Again, maybe not as good as some other years, but still good enough to win it all. They're here in the semifinals. So Blaine's defense, in my mind, is continuing to do what they need to do. It looks rough having 20 points on the board, but you're never going to win a game with 0 points. And that's what the Blaine offense has been able to get. They've got to start there on this drive with some points.
5 plays, 28 yards on the short field. And keep in mind as well, the Bengals have forced 10 turnovers so far in the state tournament alone.
But this is first time for me with North Metro ending up here at the state semifinals.
Same on my end, and it was a fun one. And unfortunately for the Bengals, the opportunities they couldn't cash in the first half. Eden Prairie made sure they didn't get as many of those opportunities in the second. And they will head to the title game for the 14th time. All of them since 1996, and they'll await the winner of somebody from Lakeville. Final score, 34-14. The Bengals season ends at 11-1. It comes to a close, 1 game short of that ultimate goal. That ride and this ride, all courtesy right here of North Metro TV. What a great season it was, 11-1. Third quarter, it's still 7-0. You're coming out, got to stop on the first one, John, but then a couple of big runs off to that left side, and you said it, the speed, a little more than the power, and it was Nick Kruger was able to use that speed to put Eden Prairie up by 2 scores for the first time.
Kruger had a real nice night running the football, and Blaine's turnover problems.
Yeah, and this one maybe the most,
head again here.
Right, the most disappointing. And off a kickoff, just couldn't cover it up, trying to get the ball back. That gives Eden Prairie the ball again. Penn on a 4th down, going for it inside the 15. It was 4th and 4. He gets the touchdown. And from then on, it was trouble for the Bengals. Tony Strand gave everybody a little juice. It was 20-0. Start the 4th with a punt and take it back. 64 for the score for Tony Strand. Man's up and falls across the goal line. But the Bengals couldn't get a stop, and Eden Prairie just kept driving and driving. Mensa so close to a drive-ending sack. Instead, it turns into a J.D. Cowan touchdown, and the Bengals are left to just pick up too little too late as Tim Maffei, inside the final 10 seconds, scores the lone touchdown of the game for the offense, and the final score was set at that point at 34-14.
What a start to his tenure as head coach for Ben Geisler.
Yep, and he's got some building blocks now to move forward. We talk about a fun ride. It's never fun when it comes to an end, but we have so much fun with our crew. I know I speak for you when I say that too. A tremendous crew out here today. Everybody coming for this semifinal game all throughout this season. Our North Metro TV crews braving conditions that are much worse than inside the cozy confines of U.S. Bank. So from the two of us, thanks to all of them, and certainly thanks to all the viewers as well for tuning us in, giving us the high fives as we walk around these facilities. We can't do it without you as well. Bengals bring things to a close on the fall football season for North Metro TV. 35-14 the final. Go Cougars. Go Panthers. And one last time, go Bengals. For John Haddon, I'm J.W. Cox. Thanks so much for watching all of it on North Metro TV. Good night, everybody.